Hello, I'm Harry, and welcome. I make these videos not as a way to gain anything, but as a way to help the me I was before. Many people ask, if you could go back, or people ask when they're 50, 60, if you can go back to when you were 20, what would you tell yourself? And they have some great wisdom. But all these videos are people on the street, and they are being asked by someone else, and it's in the moment. And most people have great wisdom, but I want to help people. I'm 29 now, and I'm sure I'm going to gain a lot more knowledge throughout my life. But I want to start now with helping people who are going through what I went through, and people who are going to go through what I went through. I would like to be the person that I needed. Today, I'd like to talk about heroes and villains. Now, what I've come to realize recently is that heroes and villains are very, very similar in most ways. They are ultimately powerful. They affect a lot of people. They fight and they do what they think is right. Both of them. But there is only one key difference. And the key difference between them both is how they respond to what's going on around them. Take, for example, the heroes in the movies, right? So there's, so there's the obvious ones, right? And let's use an obvious one, right? So the ones that I like most, Batman and the Joker. Now, both of them had terrible, terrible things happen to them. Some of them have, and each of them have opportunities that the other one didn't really have. I mean, like Batman, Bruce Wayne was a billionaire, all of his life. And, and Arthur was, doing something that he loved. So, as I'm using the Joaquin Phoenix movie Joker, right, where he he was a clown and he was bringing joy to people. And both of them get attacked in many, many different ways. Some ways more similar than others, other ways not so similar. But it's their response to how they do it. It's their response to how they to the pain that they have. And there's only one of two responses that set them on a path. And one response, the response of the hero, well, let's start with the villain. The hero's response to what's happened is, I went through this. That's not fair. So others have to go through this. I shouldn't have to go through this on my own. And the hero's response is very, very similar. But with one key difference. The hero's response is, what I've gone through is not fair. I don't want others to go through what I've been through. And so with each of us, we have to make a choice. All of us are going to be affected by something. All of us are going to have things happen, and we're going to respond in three ways. Doing something positive, doing something negative, or falling back in on ourselves and doing nothing. choosing indecision. And by not choosing, we are choosing. And I think that we need to choose what's right for us. It's not my job to tell you which way you should go, that you should choose the hero's path. Both, in the Dark Knight movie, the Joker comes into what looks like billions of dollars stacked up high, and he just burns all of it because it means nothing to him. And he constantly wants to cause chaos. Bruce, Batman, wants to use what he's got to put fear into the negative aspects of society. And one of the really weird things, right, and this was discussed in a number of movies, famously for me, it's I think it's the Age of Ultron Avengers movie, where they are describing to each other that by us being here and being powerful and being together, we may be inviting more powerful energies to come to us, more powerful enemies to come to us and to challenge us. And that's what happens. That is actually what happens. When we whether we choose the negative, if we choose the negative path, okay, let's just go down that road. If we choose the negative path, there will be bigger and stronger, more positive powers to try and disrupt those people. And also for the hero, no matter how much good you try and do, there will be bigger and more evil obstacles and villains to try and challenge you. So we have to choose. And in my first video, I made the comment that these videos are for any future children that I may have. If no one else watches these videos, my children will be able to see. And if I'm not there, they'll be able to get hopefully some words of wisdom. And they'll be able to know how much I love and care for them. Now, in the end of the book of Joshua, I think it's chapter 23. It's it says, "I'm presenting to you today a blessing and a curse, life or death, and you must choose life." And for me and my household, we will serve Jehovah, Yahweh. Each person of each family, of each member of this race of humans, we must choose which path we wish to go down. And no matter which path we choose, positive energy will always try and reach us. The energy that God put into the universe, that is all around us, that is here, is always trying to reach us. But are we going to see it? Or are we going to reject it? And with a lot of arguments, what a lot of people tend to do is, because of the embarrassment, because of the feelings that they have, because of whatever's happened to them or whatever they've been taught, they may fall back and keep falling back and doubling down on what is the wrong thing to do. And for each person, we've got to decide what we think is right and wrong. But all of us deep down, we know what's right and wrong. We know what's right. And we must stand and fight for that. Fight for what we know to be true. And to those out there, at my recommendation, I hope you choose to be a hero. I hope you choose to be the chosen one. To be, for want of a better word, your family's Messiah. So that the next generation, then it was, I'll explain it this way. There was a comment I heard, and I really appreciate this. The definition of a great man or a great person, the definition of a great man is someone who plants a tree, that of which he will never find shade. And the idea of that is that someone has to sacrifice so that others can find the shade of the sun underneath the tree. Now, where I live now, I'm actually being, I'm not going to be here long. I'm moving. I'm not too sure where I'm moving to, but the landlord wants his house back, and he wants his peace, and I try and bring positive energy and peace, but it is what it is. But in every tree around here, and there's lots of trees, there are things living in them. Choose to be the person who plants the tree that others can find shade under. And choose the most difficult thing that you can do. And choose to do it for good. Now, this is a much shorter video. I'll end it there. But I wanted to make something. I want to make something at least every week. Every week on Wednesday, I want to put something out. The other day, I bought 5 books. 3 of them by Robert Greene. The Art of Seduction, the 48 Laws of Power. That's the one I'm reading now. The Daily Laws, but also by Robert Greene. The Prince by Machiavelli. And How to Use Your Enemies by Baltasar Gracian, if I'm saying that right. What's interesting about Baltasar Gracian is he was a priest in the 17th century. And the book is tiny, is small. It's, do I have it? Where did I put it? Ah, there it is. It's only that thick, this book. And it seems to be, if I understand rightly, it's a chapter from another book. It says it's a selection taken from the Pocket Oracle and Art of Prudence, first published in 1647. And this one chapter has so much knowledge on it. Some of the things it says is, so I've just underlined a number of things. What's good is brief is twice as good. Sorry, what's good if brief is twice as good. Even bad things, if brief, are not so bad. And you think of something awful happening, like someone you love suffering before they die. A lot of people want to keep their family around, but seeing them suffer is so hard. And knowing that they're finally in peace, that their suffering has finally ended, that it was quick. If someone has to die, I don't want them to suffer. If someone's naturally going to die, I hope it isn't. I hope no one has to suffer. I wish peace for everyone. So let's see if there's another one here. Each paragraph is titled "The Art of Leaving Things Alone." Simply sitting back can be a way of calming the whirlwind of the mob. Yielding to time now will lead to victory later. There is no better remedy for disorder than to let it run its course. It will then disappear on its own. And I think that one's pretty darn cool, because so many people they listen to their emotions and they feel something right now and they want to, disintegrate the thing that's in front of them that's causing the problem. But if they just were able to breathe, if they were able to breathe and sit down and brave it. And actually, on breath, I heard something the other day, which I think I may include in another video later on. But it was this fella online. He made this really good point, and it's a bit silly, but it's a really strange way of thinking about the world, right? So the thing this guy mentioned, I don't know who the guy is, but he noticed that if you were to hold your breath, or your breath was being held by force, you lost all oxygen, you lost all air, and you weren't able to breathe. You would, first of all, lose consciousness, and then you would fall over. And so he made this point that we're not breathing in air. What we are in fact breathing in is consciousness. So choose to breathe. Storms come, storms go. Sometimes it takes just breath and the courage to stay standing and not to fall over because of a lack of consciousness. Anyway, I said I'd leave it there. Have a fantastic day. Have a fantastic week. Until the next video. I want to give you all love and peace, and I wish you all a fantastic, fantastic life. And I hope you all realize how fantastic your life really is. Genuinely, I love you all. Whether you are my children or you are others. Of course, I love my children more. But I wish all of you who watch this video or don't watch this video to see the love and the peace that is around you. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you soon.